Um, Rounding out the show, before we end this thing, we definitely got to tap in with you, Sean B. Flagrant, and get uh, notable NFL bets for this week. What games are you looking at?
Well, I'm gonna go with a few. I'm gonna go with the bigger implicated games, I guess you could say, for this week. This is week 13, obviously in the NFL. We're rounding out the season. Um, just a few more weeks. Pretty soon, a lot of teams will just start resting their players. They're not gonna be playing very hard because they're gonna get ready for this playoff, push. So, with that being said, we have a few teams in a few divisions that actually need to win a few games because if they don't, they'll be knocked out. Won't get a wild card or won't be at the top of the division. Start off with the Dallas Cowboys versus New Orleans Saints, I should say, versus Dallas Cowboys because New Orleans is coming to Dallas to play. This is a short week, obviously, for both teams. New Orleans played Atlanta. Well, actually, take it back. It's not a short week for both teams because both teams played on Thanksgiving, Thursday night. So it actually is a full week of rest. I don't know how they got out of that, both teams. I mean, Dallas seems how always gets that situation. But anyway, it's still a full week of rest. So both teams have no advantage, I should say, on this situation. We all know New Orleans hasn't lost a game since Tampa came down there in the first week and beat them. I don't know how that happened. That was when Fitzmagic was actually somebody, and now Tampa is terrible. But anyway, New Orleans has been, winning since then. Dallas has had a little bit of a harder road. They have won games. Obviously, they are right now. Or they're in top of the division. Yeah. I don't know why I don't like Dallas at all, but
Well, they're tied, but they have the win over Washington. So yes, they're at the
which which happened last week, Thursday,
top.
also on Thanksgiving. Now, this usually is it's a letdown spot for Dallas, I would say, just because it's one of those games that I don't think Dallas can win and will be up for. Well, no, they will be up for, but I don't think they have enough shooting power to battle with Drew Brees. Now, I will say this though, I would not take New Orleans to 7.5, and I know it sounds crazy because I mean New Orleans they've been beating everybody by 50 points, but they don't do it away from the Superdome. They do beat teams away from the Superdome, but not always by such a dramatic effect, except for, Cincinnati, who we just talked about in the show, is terrible.
Right.
Um, I would take the over in this situation. I feel like as I wouldn't say as anemic as Dallas offense has looked prior to this, it seems like they're coming into their own, adding Amari Cooper from the Raiders seems to actually have helped them a lot. Their defense is coming around, but I don't think that they will be able to stop Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Melvin Ingram, Michael Thomas, you name it, whoever you want to say. I mean, the Saints can't be stopped by anybody. So, and it is a dome, so
Right.
there will be no weather implications right now. So, if I was to bet anything on this game, even though it's a Thursday night, usually Thursday nights tend to be low scoring, except for some games. I would take the over just because it is in a dome. Is the over? What is it over? 51.5 right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Um, as to why I feel like Dallas may need to win this game. Um, and whether or not they can
Right.
is up to how they play on the field. But I'm looking at their schedule, rounding out the rest of the season, and I'm looking at Washington, who they're tied with, in their division schedule. Washington has a lot easier schedule finishing out the season. Dallas does not.
Right. You're
Um,
very correct.
and so, obviously, I mean, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. The tickets, when you look at the ticket prices for their game against Tampa Bay, they say tickets start at $12. Sorry, I'm sorry. That just because if you look at all the other games like at Indianapolis and New York Giants, the ticket prices start at $114. When
Right.
it goes to Tampa, it says starting at 12.
Okay, discount game.
But anyway, um, looking at the rest of Dallas' schedule, though, I think Washington has a much easier schedule. And not to say that, uh, again, not to say New Orleans is going to let them walk in and just beat them, but Dallas has to come in with the mindset that they need to get this win because their schedule down the road seems to be a little bit harder than Washington. That's just my take on that.
And I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. The only problem is I just cannot put my money to bet against Drew Brees and what he's doing this year.
And I also agree with that as well.
That's why I feel like the over is probably the play, just because I know Drew Brees is going to put up at least 27 to 55 points in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Drew does not disappoint. If he has an off night, he's going to still put up at least 30 points.
Yeah.
If Dallas is winning, they're not going to just lay down. Like, they will come back and they will fight. Drew will keep going. So I do think it will be more of a higher scoring game. If I had to choose, like I said, I can't pick against Drew Brees right now and the way he's playing. But like you said, Dallas is hungry and they need this win probably more than the Saints do, because the Saints are going to be first place no matter what.
Right.
So the next game I have on the docket that I would probably like to bet, New England and, well, keep saying the other team first, Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. Now this game starts off, I think my book starts at 6. I had 5. Do you have 5 or you have 6? Because with the bet I saw New England was minus 6 points even.
Uh, Damn, hold on. I just went away from that page.
I'll put it like this: it doesn't matter either way. It's either it's either minus 6 or minus 5. This is a game for the Patriots to kind of get
Five,
right. Five,
five
okay,
and a half. 5.5.
5.5. I think the Vikings could have a chance. I think that Kirk Cousins seems like he's a little bit better with playing, but you got to remember too, this is Minnesota, who plays in the dome as well, who's going over to New England, Foxborough, who the Patriots don't ever lose in Foxborough. Let's put it like that. They've been terrible on the road. They didn't show much promise this week against the Jets, or this past week, I should say, against the Jets. So it does lean to seem that maybe Brady can, be taken down, because honestly, Brady hasn't looked great this year. They do have, I guess, the weapons you want to say, but they don't have the weapons. It doesn't seem like Josh Gordon and him haven't really connected too much during the year. They just got Gronk back, so that might help. Edelman is Edelman with their team. They running Sony Michelle a lot, so that might help. It kind of seems like they're trying to use less of Tom Brady that they have to, basically try
Well,
to save his arm. So they've been doing a lot of run game, is what I've seen.
well, they also, and I don't want to say that they can cruise, but they've also dominated their division already this year.
True.
It is fervently clear that they're going to win their division and go ahead and get their playoff spot. Um, and so maybe they don't use a lot of Tom Brady. Maybe they come out. I don't want to call him lax because I don't ever want to sleep on Bill Belichick, but maybe they don't come out nearly as aggressive as normal. Um, because they are, we like you said, we're in 13. They're comfortably ahead of their division. Maybe they don't come out as aggressive. I don't know.
And like I said before, Minnesota is a dome team, but if they can get over that problem, I guess you could say they have more weapons to go through. Adam Thielen is having a monster year. Obviously, I know he's on my fantasy team as well. Stephon Diggs is their
Yeah.
deep threat. Rudolph actually played pretty well last game. They just got Dalvin Cook back. Latavius Murray is running for them as well. So if Kirk Cousins can, if the offensive line can keep up and let Kirk Cousins get a pocket to throw in, they can keep up with the Patriots. You're right. I mean, it can come down maybe to 3 points. The one thing I did see that will not be a very good situation for them is Xavier Rhodes got hurt in
Yeah.
this previous game, who is clearly their best defender, at least in the secondary, that is. He's hurt. They still don't have their safety, who is, I think his name is uh, Vallejo or something like that. But he is outstanding. And with that backfield kind of decimated, there might be a little bit of a problem, especially if Tom Brady can sit there and just, pick apart that defense in the backfield. So I'm leaning towards Patriots to win this game if they can control the clock. But if Kirk Cousins does come back and does make this a game by throwing the football a lot, it might be an interesting game. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If it was me taking this game, I'd probably still take the Patriots -5. I just it's something about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick knowing the situation being in Foxborough that I think it's a little more daunting than people think. And when Bill Belichick and them get into a shootout, they perform. I mean, we've seen that with the Kansas City game. They came and played. When they do get pushed, they can push back.
Yeah,
And I don't know if Kirk Cousins can do that. I feel like he has great games here and there, but the majority he's kind of a letdown. And when the push comes to shove, I'm going to take Tom Brady over Kirk Cousins any day.
yeah,
So, the last game I'm going to get to. Well, actually, no, I'm going to talk about two more games. Or one more, two more games, I should say. This next past game, I'm going to go kind of quick. Los Angeles, I almost said San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are favored by 3.5. I'm just going to be simple. I think Steelers are going to win this game. I understand that the Chargers are on a winning streak right now. I understand that Philip Rivers is playing great football. He's also on my fantasy team. But I'm just same thing about Pittsburgh. I feel the same way about New England. They're completely different at home, and the Chargers have been known to fail when the lights are the brightest. They just do. I don't know what it is, but they cannot perform. They cannot get right. And the thing about it is, you just lost Melvin Gordon to an injury. Eckler is a great running back, but he's not Melvin Gordon.
right.
Without having that in the backfield, I mean, if Philip just has to sit there and throw, now I'm not saying he can't make passes, but if they cannot get to Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to have a field day on that secondary in from Los Angeles. So I'm just going to be simple and straightforward. I just think this is a get right game for the Steelers, and this might be an easy one, especially since it's only 3.5. That's a field goal. I take the Steelers in this game.
Yeah, um, I'm there with you. It is like you said, a get right game for the Steelers. It is also make or break for the Steelers, not necessarily in terms of divisional, but definitely in terms of overall record. Because at that point you drop to 7-4-1, and that tie starts to hurt you a little bit if you can't get this win. Looking at the next 4 games after that, so I'm going to say that the Steelers come out hungry, being at home, and I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. The last game I want to talk about, I don't really have that big of a lean to this one, but I will talk about it. Philadelphia, Washington Redskins are coming to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Obviously, the point line is 6.5. Favored for the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles are -6.5. I don't know about this game, honestly. Um, I didn't like the effort that Colt McCoy gave in Philadelphia. I mean, in Dallas. This is his
Right.
second. This is his second road game. I don't know. Their lines beat up. Obviously, I think that I think it was their offensive tackle was taken out on a stretcher in that Dallas game. He won't be there. Reuben Fox is not going to play, so don't worry about that.
Right.
But their defense has holes in it. We've seen that from the Dallas game. They same thing we talk about with talking a lot. Josh Norman, we love him on this show, but that
Yeah,
defense ain't.
I
That
mean,
defense
yeah, I
ain't.
mean, all you got is Josh and DJ Swearinger left. Like those are the last 2 guys that are actually making plays defensively for you, unfortunately. And they're good, but they're the only 2 you got. You
Right.
need 7 to at least 9 other people on the field to help them make plays. My thing with this game being that it's in Philadelphia, obviously it's going to be tough on Washington. Being that you got Colt McCoy and not Alex Smith is going to be tough on Washington. But looking at playoff implications, right? Dallas, Washington, Philadelphia. Dallas and Washington tie. Philadelphia is right behind both of them. Um, Washington plays Philly twice in the next 5 games, but the other 3 games are winnable games. So to me, if Washington can split one of those 2 games with Philadelphia, maybe this isn't the one. Maybe Philadelphia takes this win and then Washington wins, at the end of the season when Philly may want to try to rest everybody, which they may not be because they may be in a situation where they need to play people for a win. But that game's in Washington, last game of the season on December 30th. That game's in Washington. I think that Washington's going to try its hardest. I think 6.5 may not make it. I think it may be a closer game than 6.5. I still feel like though, because it's in Philadelphia, Philadelphia may edge this one out. But I feel like Washington will come with the mindset of we need this win, especially because they just lost to Dallas. And so this being another divisional game, they're going to come out with the fire. Not saying Philadelphia won't, but Washington will, which I think will push Philadelphia. And Philadelphia still may win, but I don't think it'll be by a touchdown.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I just would never put my money on Colt McCoy in this
No.
situation. In 2 straight, I guess you could say, road games, and just being a starter, I feel like Colt McCoy is a serviceable quarterback, and he's not a starting quarterback for a reason.
Yeah.
The Eagles haven't beat anybody by any amount of score lately. They beat the Giants last week, barely. They should have lost the game. Point blank. That's on the Giants because they should have ran the ball in the second half with Saquon Barkley, who was dominating that game. So the Eagles' secondary is decimated. Weirdly, I look at this game and I would probably take it over if I had to bet. I know it sounds crazy because, it is 2 teams that look like they are terrible, but the Eagles are literally playing with 4 new cornerbacks.
Yeah.
You got that, and like we talked about, the Washington can't keep anybody from doing anything, and they're on their second straight road game. Like they're not gonna be doing too much of anything. If I had to bet, like you said, because it is a playoff indicating game, so they're probably going to be ramped up because this, like I said, this is going to control the division pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially if Dallas loses, on Thursday night. So this definitely will probably come into play if that. So I would more look towards the over. Just because I don't think any of these defenses are really going to be able to stop anybody. Colt McCoy might stop himself, but even if the NFL, what is the spread? 44, I guess? 44 and a half?
44.
You got to think about it. Even like let's just say Colt McCoy has a bad game, pick 6. Now you are or just a pick, and now the Eagles are in field goal range, or he has a sack fumble or something like that. Like
I feel like this is going to end up as a Scott Van Pelt bad beat. I feel like this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be like a situation where like the total score is at like 41 and somebody manages to fumble the ball for a pick 6 or something like that. Like I feel like it's going to be that bad of a game to where like something like that happens.
Weirdly, this is the NFL. I know it sounds crazy, but I've had to learn this honestly, and I'm telling all the bettors that do this. I've had to learn this time and time again. And I still make mistakes with this. I actually made a mistake last week by betting this with the Oakland Raiders. There's no unders anymore. Nah. Like if you're gonna bet an under, you have to look at a score that's around 50s or 60s because it doesn't take that much to score 20 points now. Everything is given to the offense, and you have to literally play a perfect game. Both teams have to play a perfect game for the score to go under. Yeah. So, if it's around 40, 44, and 2 teams have any little bit of offense, and now Colt McCoy has been in that system for 6 years. He might not be the best quarterback, but, as long as somebody's open, he can throw the ball.
Yeah, it's like taking unders in college. Never.
Yeah, so, if I had to put this because I can't necessarily lean towards the Colts in this. I mean, I'm sorry, the Redskins in this game. I don't know why I said the Colts. The Redskins in this game. Oh, Colt McCoy. Sorry, I can't lead towards the Redskins in this game at 6.5 plus the 6.5, only because I don't trust Colt McCoy. But if I had to make an official play on this, it would be the over, just because the over is so low, and I just feel like both teams will be trying as hard as they possibly can to get this done. I mean, look towards weather and see if there's any weather implications going
Yeah.
on. If it's not, just shoot the over. I mean, you can't go wrong with scoring points. I mean, they might not get it, but if I had to bet anything on this game, if you really want to bet this game, bet the over.
All right, well, that wraps up NFL Week 13 betting lines as well as Hella Flagrant the podcast, episode number 4. As always, it's been a pleasure being in here, kicking it with y'all as we always do. And you guys could always find more Hella Flagrant stories, all the crazy, controversial sports news stories on theflagrantfoul.com. You see it right there at the bottom of your screen. Make sure you tap into theflagrantfoul.com. You can also find us. You can find both of our Instagrams is on the flagrantfoul.com. But you can find at Sean B Flagrant, at Flagrant DM on Instagram, and get at us over there. Make sure you go to our YouTube page and subscribe. The links are on the website. It's on the Instagram. It's everywhere. So go to the YouTube page and make sure you subscribe to that. And then make sure you visit hellaflagrant.com for all of your Flagrant Foul and Hella Flagrant merchandise.
Yeah, man, we want to thank you guys, of course, for coming out and watching this. I mean, obviously we do this for y'all, so the Hella Flagrant podcast would not be where it is today without you. So please, like he said, subscribe, like, follow all of it, the Instagram page, Twitter accounts, everything we have, the Flagrant Foul Instagram, my Instagram, their Instagram, Flagrant DM. Just follow everything that we got. Like you said, here we go right here. Flagrant Foul shirts are still available. HellaFlagrant.com. You can get it right now. Just type www.hellaflagrant.com. Go in there, search the merchandise. You can also get there from the website, theflagrantfoul.com. So either way, go in one of those ways and get on there, buy a few shirts for you. You know what I'm saying? Christmas time is almost here. What better way to show it off with one of these? So, yeah, but thank you guys for, coming out. Flagrant the podcast, episode 4 is a wrap. So,